Welcome everybody to another talk about relationships matter. And today's talk is gonna give it. I'm trying to give some practical ideas. We're gonna discuss some on how to make a discussion, how to make the engagement of the parents towards their children more effective. Stick around. All right. The way I structured today's talk is based on different ages. So so I have the first year, like 0 to 12 months, and we can talk about what are some of the suggestions that you guys have. I have some ideas on what would be good to have that engagement for the parents to the child. And as I always, ask the question, what's so important about have this engagement between the parents? Why do you think this is important?
Why? Why? Why?
Any
Why?
thoughts? Any questions? Any suggestions? Establishing the connection. Yeah. And what's so important about having that connection? See, it's a lot of the mental health conditions and the personality traits, most of them, if not all, it really comes down to the childhood development. And the whole childhood development and throughout childhood to adulthood is that getting that sense of security, having that feel of security. If they have that security was fed to them in early stages of their lives, they're very likely to be more effective and more stable, more secure, more congruent, and therefore successful in their lives. So, so having that engagement from the parents, because why the parents? Why not siblings? Because parents are the first people that children uh, interact with. So they are, especially the first or the primary caregiver most of the time is the mother. Unless the mother dies, then there will be the first caregiver would be someone who replaces the mom. And when it comes down to replacing mom, since we're talking about that, God forbids, your wife or your sister or someone that you care for, that they would die. It's really important to find a replacement female as opposed to the father playing the role of the father and playing the role of the mother, because we do need to keep the role of the father in that child's life, but we just need to bring a mother figure into that child's life. A lot of the time, actually, the same thing for divorce. When couples divorce, the one of the parents kind of fight for them, and they become, the only parent. That's just not gonna be good for the child. Maybe it feeds your ego. You feel like you won, but it doesn't help your child. You do need to have a father figure, and the father has rights to visit the son, but maybe that's not sufficient. So therefore, there has to be a father figure. Same thing. If the father kept the son, he cannot be the mom, and the father, he needs to have a mother figure. That's just the minimum requirement. So therefore, in order, assuming that is there, we need to have that connection. So today's talk is about sharing some thoughts and some examples of what can a parent initiate uh, to to initiate that engagement with the children. So for the first 12 months, when the baby starts talking, or should we start engaging at an earlier stage? The engagement is at a much earlier, basically at birth, because the child cries. We need to answer that cry. We need to comfort, and that comfort is going to assure the child, when I ask for help, I get help. When I ask for help, I get help. And I think I talked about this before in some of the other videos, is that sometimes parents are so perfectionists. They want to do it before the child cries because they think that's better parenting, that's good parenting. Actually, that's not, because the child doesn't learn how to reach out for help. So the child will not be developing that need and understanding that when they reach out for help, they will get back the help. But that is not established at an early stage. So therefore, the child takes it for granted. They will always get the help. No, no, maybe not. Um, and therefore, it's important for the parents to engage when the child calls for help. Now, also the parent can initiate the engagement by making it fun, by making it a learning experience. So, one thing that one of the things that we can introduce children, right, about is at a very early stage. How do you feel today? And it can be very simple. Because they see us talk to them simple language. They would say, I feel good. I don't feel good. I feel happy. I feel sad. I feel hungry. So it's really important to have them to have that engagement. So if they say, oh, I don't know, it's like, no, let's think about it. So it's not like a question and just kind of move on to the next question. It's just a matter of really uh, um, having that ongoing engagement for the child to learn, right? And for the child to feel that you are the primary caregiver and you are actually there. You're not busy making money. You're not busy fighting the world, but you're not there for your child. How about talking about toys? Talking to the child about what's your favorite toy? And at an early stage, like at infancy, they might not have that ability to understand you, but sometimes they feel like, oh, they get excited about certain thing, or they're making like funny noises, or they tell us like, oh, so you like this, or you feel like this is going to be fun for you. You just need to talk to the child as if they understand, because that's going to help them feel that you are really listening to them. But if you're just giving to the child and you're talking to someone, there is no sense of engagement from the child's perspective. So when the child reach out for help and they get it, that is basically telling them that they are loved. And they don't just get it meaning the toy or whatever it is that they need, the attention, that you are looking at them as a parent. So the parent needs to look at the child. That's very important in the engagement. So when we have this conversation, what are you feeling today? So like, what age do the children start talking? What age do children start talking? About one, or earlier than one sometimes, right? And it can be a little later, but earliest would be, I would say, around 1 year, about 12 months. So within the first 12 months, you can always engage these things, and you can ask the question, and guess what? You answer the question as well, so they understand that there is some kind of knowledge there, that they will start their ears, they get used to it. So it's really important to do that. Um, so that's one thing that can be done uh, with the child, like ask him what sounds you like, what color, the colors maybe at a later stage, maybe from 1 to 5, or 1 to 3, 1 to 3 years old. You can explore the things that they're learning, and you can also teach them colors, what color you like, what again, there maybe have different toys. You can tell them what's your favorite toy, can all, because they don't remember necessarily what you talked to them about the first year of their lives. And of course, the most famous one is, can you count to 10? Can what's your favorite? We said toy, but we can say a little bit, notch higher is like, what's your favorite animal, right? What's your favorite color? What color is this? What color is that? And then as they grow, then we can ask about their favorite food. So you see, everything is about positive. So we're thinking only positive. It's not about what they don't like. It's about what they like. So that's really important. So, tell me a story, and they need to sit down and tell you a story. Spending time with your child and play with your child. Play with your child, not physically, but don't play for your child. Don't tell the child how the train goes on the thing, or how you put the Lego bricks and all that. Let them figure it out at that age. They don't have to learn how to put. If they have a Lego, and they're maybe like 3 or younger, they don't know maybe how to put the Lego. Maybe it's not safe to put the Lego in front of maybe the bigger Legos. Let them figure out what to put. They don't have to make a castle. In your mind, maybe the castle is the right thing to do, but you just let them do it their own. And it's really important to allow them to have that space to be who they want to be. And it doesn't, if they didn't do a castle, it doesn't say that they're going to be stupid when they grow up. It doesn't mean that they're not capable when they're growing up. They don't know what they're doing. There's no color coordination. That comes from the parents, and the child becomes confused. So when the parents is like, oh no, no, you need to put the yellow together, and this green belongs here. It's a garden, and the yellow is a castle, and you put the white on the top because it's snowing. You're talking to a 3, 5 year old. They don't care about that stuff. They just care about these blocks. They connect, and that can make bigger things that are bigger than me. And that's all they want to learn at that moment. So all the things that some parents they uh, put in the child's head, it's actually putting doubts in themselves that they're not capable, they're not doing it right. This is not how you draw an apple. I get that a lot. Oh, you're drawing a house as a circle? Where is this house? This is like in Mars? That's not how you draw a house. This is how you draw a house. It's like the child's like, I don't know what I'm doing. So they start doubting themselves. They're not going to be able to build that competency as they grow up. When they start in school, when was the last time, if I may ask, you or your friend ever been asked, how was your day at school today? Yeah, I'm saying yes, I'm saying no. And how long is that conversation? And was the conversation only when you were being picked up and then you get dropped off? That's not engagement. Any communication with your child in the car is not considered engagement. Engagement needs to have face to face. You really need to sit down. In the car, he's like, "Oh, I can't wait to sit with you and you tell me about your day. I would love to learn more about it." You just build that anticipation. Now, the child, if they're in trouble, they might start thinking about lies. We talk about how you work with discipline with children. That's a different talk. But now we're just talking about how to connect with a child. Even if you think the child is making things up, it's better to connect than to correct. It's really better to connect than to correct because they're still children and you still have years to fix that. And don't worry, they're not going to be a juvenile in a juvenile jail or a cell. So you have a lot of time to fix that and connect. Because if you're connecting, you're building that security, they'll be able to tell you their lies. But if they're not feeling that security, they're not just going to lie to you, they're going to lie to everyone they meet just to get away with it. So when they go to school, the typical topic or the typical question is, how was your day? What's your favorite subject? What did you learn today? Who's your favorite teacher? Any thoughts, any questions that you guys think about that you think it's a valid question to any of the stages that we talked about? No? No? Have you been asked what do you want to do when you grow up? Did anybody say they want to be a thief? I've heard that. I've heard that. Um, but it's a one incident. It was not something that was common, I must say. Yeah, I mean, these are the common questions when the child starts schooling and they start to have that future image of themselves. So they have a goal to reach out to. Who do you like? Who do you want to be like? Right? To have that um, image of ideal person that they want to be. Right? If your child is watching any of these superpowers, I recommend you don't do that because it's not possible. And they're maybe disappointed at one point. We talked about Santa Claus. We don't want to disappoint them about that either. So it's really important for them to understand uh, the realities and what's real and what's not. So if we expose them and if we normalize imaginary characters that none of us are able to approach or to achieve that point, therefore we need to We need to introduce that kind of information with knowledge to the child that this is not possible, this is not possible, this is not possible. How about later in their lives? What do you do like after, let's say, in high school years? What do you talk about children? What would you like to parents to ask you? No, you don't like to talk. It's like, don't ask me anything. Just leave me alone. What would you like? What would you like your parents to ask you? I'm sorry. School gossip. Yeah, I like that. Who did what? Who beat what? Who got beaten? Who didn't do the homework? Which teacher showed late? Which teacher forgot? Yeah, yeah. It can be very engaging because from the child's world, that was like wow. But some parents like, oh, we don't talk bad about our teachers. We need to be nice. We need. It's like, but the child's like, well, okay, I'll just go and chat with my friends and talk about YouTube. My dad did this, my mom did that. Look at them, and they start talking to outsiders because they're not able to connect with you as a parent. And that's really true for all relationships. If we're focusing on the what and the how and the why and all that, we're not engaged and we're not listening. We're disconnecting. We're helping the child to disconnect. We're helping the other person to disconnect. Because as a listener, we don't talk, we don't question, we don't know. We just listen. So some of the questions for young adults, I would say similar. Like, how was your day? What is your plan for this week? But it doesn't have to be an interview, right? It can be something engaging. It can be something that, um, oh, I would be wonderful if I can, if you would share with me this or you share, I would be really, it would mean a lot to me.